Intramuros, urban district and historic walled city within metropolitan Manila, in the Philippines. The name, from the Spanish word meaning within walls, refers to the fortified city founded at the mouth of the Pasig River shortly after 1571 by the Spanish conquistador Miguel López de Legazpi. Intramuros, though formerly subject to the viceroyalty of New Spain in Mexico City, became the capital of the new Spanish island dominion and flourished during the 17th and 18th centuries. The 146 acres, 59 hectares, within the original 20-foot, 6-meter, thick walls contain Manila Cathedral, Fort Santiago, San Agustin Church, the University of the City of Manila, and other monuments to the Spanish colonial period. Urban congestion during the late 19th and early 20th centuries gradually encircled the site. The moat was filled in 1905, and wore down and replaced the distinctive Spanish colonial architecture with government offices. In 1944, U.S. bombing completed the reduction of the city to rubble. The site was cleared after World War II, but reconstruction proceeded slowly. The pentagonal walls, 7 gates, and small plazas that distinguish Intramuros from the surrounding Malay and Americanized districts of Manila have been restored, together with a few period houses. The moment you enter the walled city of Intramuros, you'll feel like a time machine has brought you back to the Spanish colonial period in the Philippines. Going around this oldest district in Manila, you will surely fall in love with its old world charm. From when the city was founded in 1571 until the end of the Spanish rule in 1898, Intramuros was Manila. The name Intramuros means inside the wall. For 400 years, Intramuros served as the center of the Spanish occupation, originally built to be the residence for Spanish government officials and their families. It was where the most influential and wealthy citizens of colonial Manila lived. The natives and Chinese were not allowed to live inside Intramuros, only the Spanish elite and mestizos. The walls of Intramuros were meant to protect the city from foreign invasions. The walls were 6 meters high and 3 kilometers in length, covering an area of about 160 acres. Entry and exit were only through its 7 fortified gates. Within the vast walls, throughout the 51 blocks of the city, were churches, hospitals, government offices, military barracks, schools, and houses of the Spanish elite. Intramuros has been devastated by battles, fires, and earthquakes but has survived the test of time. It holds bittersweet memories of the colonial past, a heritage worth preserving and sharing with the world. You can visit museums that preserve and promote Filipino culture and history, walk the cobblestone streets with lampposts from 1800s, old Spanish houses, gardens, and churches. You can also play golf as the old surrounding moats have been transformed into a golf course. Security personnel are dressed like Spanish-era civil guards or Guardia Civil. To fully enjoy your visit, do some research, wear comfortable shoes, and bring a camera and bottle of water. The old Manila and only the walled city. Everything outside the wall is considered province. Meaning even if you live in the poshest condominium in Makati right now, it is considered provincia before. Intramuros is a Spanish term that literally means within the walls. Any place outside is extramuros. I would like to thanks to our arts teacher Esperanza Santos to discover the historical places that really important in nowadays. Manila Cathedral, Spanish, Catedral de Manila, is the Cathedral of Manila and Basilica located in Intramuros, the historic walled city within today's modern city of Manila, Philippines. It is dedicated to the Immaculate Conception, a title for the Blessed Virgin Mary, the principal patroness of the country. The cathedral serves as the episcopal see of the Archbishop of Manila. The cathedral was originally a parish church in Manila under the Archdiocese of Mexico in 1571, until it became a separate diocese on February 6, 1579 upon the issuance of the papal bull, alias Fulti Precedo by Pope Gregory XIII. The cathedral was damaged and destroyed several times since the original structure was built in 1581, while the eighth and current structure of the cathedral was completed in 1958. The basilica has merited a papal endorsement from Pope Gregory XIII and 3 apostolic visits from Pope Paul VI, Pope John Paul II and Pope Francis. On April 27, 1981, Pope John Paul II issued papal bull Quodipsum designating the cathedral as a minor basilica by his own motu proprio.
Manila Cathedral, also called the Manila Metropolitan Cathedral Basilica, has been a venue for papal masses in the country, with Blessed Paul VI in 1970 and St. John Paul II in 1981 saying their masses. It is located at Plaza de Roma in Intramuros, Manila, and its current rector is Monsignor Nestor Serbo. The cathedral was initially built as a simple parish in Manila in 1571 by Juan de Vivero, a secular priest, and was dedicated to Our Lady of the Immaculate Conception. Back then, it was simply made of nipa and bamboo. On December 21, 1581, its status was elevated to a cathedral by Bishop Domingo Salazar. The promotion happened 2 years after Pope Gregory established the Diocese of Manila, which was put under the supervision of the Archbishop of Mexico. The bishop reconstructed it from wood, nipa and bamboo. It has been the seat of the Catholic Church in Manila since Pope Clement VIII elevated the Diocese of Manila to a metropolitan archdiocese on August 14, 1595. During St. John Paul II's visit in February 1981, he told then Manila Archbishop Jaime Cardinalson that his wish was for the Manila Cathedral to be a basilica. And just months after, on April 27, indeed it earned the title of minor basilica. From 1581 to 1958, Manila Cathedral was reconstructed several times due to destruction caused by war, fires, typhoons and earthquakes. In 2012, the basilica was closed under the orders of Archbishop Gaudencio Cardinal Rosales for another major repair. The renovation, which was completed in 2014, upgraded facilities with LED lighting, sound systems which are digitally operated, and a structural foundation which are carbon retrofitted. Manila Cathedral also holds religious artworks and sacred relics of popes and saints, and serves as resting place for the remains of former archbishops in Manila.
Fort Santiago, located in Intramuros, is a famous tourist destination in the Philippines. It is a historical structure that is part of the city's famous wall, Intramuros. The attraction of the site is a museum where you can find a replica of Dr. José Rizal's prison cell before he was executed. The rest of Fort Santiago has been set up into a beautiful park. The fort is one of the most important historical sites in Manila. Several lives were lost in its prisons during the Spanish colonial period and World War II. José Rizal, the Philippines' national hero, was imprisoned here before his execution in 1896. There is also an imitation of old dungeons, dark underground chambers or cells used to confine prisoners. You can just imagine how hard it is to be imprisoned, tortured, and executed in one of them.
Another thing you may notice is that the bridge crossing the moat does not directly lead to the fort's main entrance. And that setup was actually intentional. Since the bridge that was constructed was not a drawbridge, what the Spaniards did was to place the forts in trance a bit farther to the right as a defense mechanism. So when enemy forces come to attack Fort Santiago, it will take them a bit longer to at least reach the gate, thus helping the Spanish forces bide some time to either attack or flee the premises.
Even its very name evokes a military heritage, with a bit of Moorish phobia in between. It was named after Santiago Matamoros or Saint James the Moor Slayer, the representation of the Apostle Saint James the Greater, aka the brother of Saint John, who is venerated in Spain for having said to have helped the Spanish forces defeat the Moors in battle. Considering that Fort Santiago was the site of the old seat of the Muslim-dominated Kingdom of Mainland, the choice of the fort's name may have been intentional, perhaps a threat as well to the Filipino Moros who would dare attack Spanish colonial rule, especially in Manila. The Fort Santiago presently, local and foreign tourists tour around the historic walled city of Intramuros, which include Fort Santiago. Educational field trips by the various primary schools around Metro Manila and the other provinces are being conducted regularly on the fort as well as the other sites of Intramuros and Luneta, Rizal, Park. The Santiago Fort was also the place where the Philippine national hero, Jose Rizal, was imprisoned prior to his execution at Bagumbayan. His bone, with a bullet wound, was enshrined in a glass urn and placed in Fort Santiago as a secular relic sometime through the years. This has become one of the many historical items now displayed at the fort's museum. Many other items during the Spanish times are for viewing at the improved fort, which included paintings done on Jose Rizal and the persons with him during his time as well as samples of the clothes and utensils used in those eras. The place has become a rich heritage of past for the Filipinos and a showcase of the country's historical struggles before its real independence granted by the United States on July 4, 1946. Baluarte Santa Barbara, built in 1593, is a stone bastion that forms a part of the Santiago Fort in Manila. It brings back the memories of Second World War and the harsh treatment meted out to the prisoners arrested during this period. Formerly, a storage house of ammunition and arms, it was converted into a prison. Tales of deaths during floods and high tide are in abundance. While you are in Manila, do visit this important landmark. When we talk about Fort Santiago these days, we often associate it with Dr. Jose Rizal, the Philippines' national hero, as it was where he was imprisoned, tried, and where he would spend his final hours before his execution on December 30, 1896. While it is a distinction that deserves merit, this often overshadows to the actual importance of Fort Santiago. It was, first and foremost, the military headquarters for Spanish, British, during the 1762-64 occupation of Manila, American, and Japanese forces. As such, for a long while it held a very strategic importance, as it was believed that gaining control of the fort provides one the greater advantage of gaining control of all the country. When the Spaniards constructed the Fort Santiago that we know today, it was built in the style of the forts in Europe, especially those built in the Middle Ages, with thick stone walls and a moat surrounding the fort that serves as a means of defense. In fact, The whole of Intramuros was surrounded by moats before they were filled with land by the Americans due to them being unsanitary. Fortunately, the moat at Fort Santiago was untouched, thus it remains as the only surviving moat in the walled city. As mentioned previously, work is ongoing for the Fort Santiago's restoration and development at this time of writing, as there are some new structures being planned. Talks say there are plans to have the Intramuros administration offices be moved to Fort Santiago and the development of a promenade that will link Fort Santiago to the Maestranza complex. One thing for sure is that it will be exciting to see what comes next for the revitalized Fort Santiago complex, and here's hoping for better days ahead for this storied landmark. Thank you for watching in this video and I hope you like it.